afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing? If we look outside, what a beautiful day for such a lovely event where we can all come together, our extended Mosaic family, to welcome new members in and to greet the old family that we've seen so many times before. If you really knew me, you would know that my name is Tracey Mitchell, also known as Trace 101 here at the Mosaic Project. And I'm honored to say that this is my 7th season here at Mosaic, and I'm honored to go back up to school. So you gotta bear with me because I'm a little long-winded, so I just have some brief notes here. But if you really knew me, once again, you would know that when I first went to Mosaic, I was a little skeptical. Because I live in Richmond, California, my community's a little isolated, and I really only see predominantly African-American people all day. So I go up to the Mosaic Woods in Napa, and we're singing all these funny, different songs. I'm like, what's going on with all these crazy hippies? What's going on? And so at that particular point, I was a little prejudiced because I prejudged. And I used the stereotype right there. So now I can reflect now and have a different perspective. Like I said, I'm from Richmond, so predominantly I'm around a lot of African Americans. I'm isolated in my community a lot. And even though I've worked in schools for the last 15 years in California, I often go to work with a lot of my coworkers. We say hi and bye, and we never really fully get a chance to meet and know each other. But here at Mosaic, we really practice these Mosaic tools. The tools that we teach to the children, we really practice them as a staff. And so that gives us a deeper bond as a unit. As you see, when we went around, if you really knew me, we do that every single day with each other. So it's a deeper bond than just going to work and saying hi and bye and checking out. These tools are really important because not only did I see them working on the 4th and 5th graders, I saw, like I say, working with the staff, but these tools have also changed me. I grew up in Richmond around a lot of violence. I've experienced a lot of racism, and these tools have helped me transcend and go beyond the racism and start to heal and become a better person and push for peace in the future. Like I say, I went to Mosaic on the first week, but I'm a skeptic. I'm very skeptical. We finished our staff training. Let me just make a long story short. We finished our staff training. I'm up there in the Napa on top of Mount Veeder. We just went through Mosaic curriculum, and I feel such a peaceful vibe about myself. I'm like, wow, this Mosaic stuff really works, but it works up here in the woods, but can it really work in what we call, not the real world, but we call this the pre-Mosaic world. So I'm like, can this really work in the pre-Mosaic world? So right after staff training, I mean less than 5 minutes down the hill, we leave the top of the hill and we go into downtown Napa, and we're gonna eat together as a whole staff. And me and another African-American staff member, male, we walk up the street, we leave the rest of the staff. So we're walking downtown Napa, we pass by a Jack in the Box. And about maybe 10, maybe college or high school students ran out on the streets of Napa, and they start making these monkey sounds, and they start using the N-word. And I'm like, man, I was just up here learning all this peaceful stuff, and we come like 5 minutes back down the hill, and I get slapped in the face with blatant racism. And so I was hurt. It really hurt my feelings, so what did I do? The rest of the staff was right around the corner, and I immediately went and got my friend Lorox. Now, you all might not know Lorox, but that's I call Laura. That's Lorox. So I went over, I said, Lorox, you won't believe what happened. I explained the story, and the whole Mosaic staff would go around the corner, and it was incredible to see them instantly implement the Mosaic tools in a real life situation. And it was remarkable to see these young children have a change in mind based on that 10, 15-minute facilitation. And it was just wonderful. So at that point I was sold. I was like, oh, I'm into this Mosaic thing because I see it works. But I'm wondering, can it continue to work in my world, which is a little bit more intense? Because I live in Richmond, which is a real intense situation. I work with a lot of youth here in Oakland, and it's sometimes really violent. And so I'm wondering, will this peaceful stuff really work in this intense environment? The tools that I use most out here is assertive communication and assertive conflict resolution. We make a distinction here at Mosaic that assertiveness is different from being passive or aggressive. Passive is when you let someone invade your space and you take in the hurt or the violence. Being aggressive is when you lash out the pain, the hurt, and you throw the violence back at them. Now, being assertive, that's the way of the peacemaker. That's what I like to be, the peacemaker. And we're not being violent, And we're not throwing the violence back, and we're not accepting it in, but we're respecting ourselves and we're respecting others. And I always teach the young men this, and young women as well, that you can be strong without being mean, and that's the key thing. And so I use these assertive tools in basically all my walks of life. Let me just share some examples. In Richmond, one time, there were two men with weapons, and they had the weapons out. And so I wanted to be the assertive ally, so I got in front of them, and I got them to stop, cool off, and take a deep breath, and they put the weapons down. There was another incident when a young man had a weapon pointed at me, and I really had to get assertive at that point. I had to go deep down in my heart. I'm like, what can I say? I'm in this violent situation. So I went deep down in my heart, and I looked at the young man, and I simply said, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you should see, he kind of melted right there. It was deep when I said to him, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And so that is one that I always keep in my Mosaic toolbox. Because here in Mosaic, we know that, we always say that hurt people hurt other people. And sometimes the hurt people, they just need a little bit of love. So I was just like, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Another time, some of my college friends, they recently got married, and they were about to get a divorce. So I went over there, I said, wait a minute, I got the conflict resolution, I have these Mosaic tools. And so I instantly went to tool number 4, which is to empathize. And I got them to stand in each other's shoes and basically talk it out and listen to each other, and they're still married today, basically. One example with you. Recently, I also am a business facilitator, and I was talking to a business lady on the phone, and she was so irate and just yelling at me because things weren't going her way. So I used an I statement. I said, I feel so frustrated right now. And when I got on the phone, I didn't feel this way because I need better communication. And can you please slow down, take a deep breath, so we can continue this conversation peacefully. And at that stage, we were able to close this deal at the end of the day. And it was a beautiful thing. So I had to tell her, lady, listen, I am not the enemy, right? And we have 2 classic Mosaic quotes, which say, an enemy is one whose story you haven't heard yet. And also, it's not you and me against the problem. Wait, excuse me, it's not you and me against the problem, but it's you and I. Wait, excuse me, it's not me and you against each other, but it's you and me against the problem. All right, let me say that again because I got it right now. It's not you and me against each other, but it's you and me against the problem. And those are classic quotes we love here in Mosaic. And finally, what I like to say is, like others said before, I just like to echo, that Mosaic really works. And I was a skeptic at first, but now I realize that I'm proud and honored to be a part of this beautiful Mosaic family and be a peace warrior. Because in my opinion, this Mosaic project is the prototype for world peace. So I'd just like to invite you once again to be a part of our beautiful Mosaic extended family. Once again, my name is Tracey Mitchell, also known as Trace 101. Welcome to the family.